Welcome to this episode. Hello, amazing one, and welcome to this episode of the Sassy CEO podcast. You can hear it. I sound so raspy. My voice has literally left me for the last few days. It's come back very, very softly as I record this episode, and it's such a timely episode. I had a choice this week to not record, and this morning I got up and I decided that it would be recorded. I decided to shift what I was going to record for you, which is goodness that's coming up in the following weeks. And I wanted to record this, which is a very important message for you, woman in business. And it's all around using your voice, funnily enough. It's time for me to really send the message that's been bobbing about in my mind and my heart and my soul psyche for probably 40 years now. But it's time to really unleash it, and this episode is the beginnings of that. So if you're a woman in business, this topic is really important for you, because if you're in business, you are required, in fact, you have made a soul contract to step up and use your voice. The world needs you. And a lot of us are hiding behind blocked throat chakras, funky energy around the being seen, stepping up, shining our light, all that sort of stuff. So this episode is super, super important for you on that level. I'm basically going through being very authentic and raw with you around a discovery I made that really shocked me a few months ago, shocked me to the point where I was in tears and physically ill. So make sure you tune in to listen to that. And then from that, I also am wanting to give you some insights into how, some triggers or some things that you have, if you've got some issues around this area and using your voice, how that could be actually manifesting in your business, for you to actually have some awareness around it so you can move past it and turn up sassy as fuck. So make sure you are going over to sassyceo.com.au/gift. I've always got lots of gifts over there for you to share my goodness with you. But for now, let's get started on using our voice. Hello, amazing one, and welcome to this episode of the Sassy CEO. I am going to keep this relatively short, but very impactful, obviously, because of my current situation with my voice. I will be stopping to take little sips of water along the way so that I can still impart the message that I want to impart today, because I feel that's a very important message. And I feel like I needed to be in this state to truly make an impact with the message. So let's begin. Okay, so the story for this podcast actually started about a quarter ago. I think in quarters, just because of the way we work at Sassy CEO, because we're doing so many strategic plans. But so about a quarter ago, I was looking through a very logical, it's probably like quite a high masculine energy business group. So I wouldn't have expected to sort of get this message within this group. And someone posted a article about something called the Scold's Bridle. I've got a little bit of insight here. Now, this is, if you're interested in this, I do recommend you go and take a look at it. It's probably, you had no idea we were going to go here, but we're going to go here. I've been sitting on this for quite a while, and today is the day as I sound like this. And so basically the Scold's Bridle, reading straight from Wikipedia, is sometimes called a witch's bridle, a Branks bridle, or simply Branks. And it was an instrument of punishment as a form of torture and public humiliation. The device was an iron muzzle in an iron framework that enclosed the head. It basically slid into the mouth and was either pressed down on top of the tongue as a compress, or used to raise the tongue to lie flat on the wearer's palate. And this prevented speaking and resulted in many unpleasant side effects for the wearer, including excessive salivation is the word, and fatigue in the mouth. Now, I just want to put it out there. I'm not going to read any more from that. I actually want to just talk about this particular torture device. If you go and take a look at it, so if you're a visual learner, you can have a look while I'm talking to you about this, was something that was used mainly on women. So if a husband thought that his wife was being a little bit too lippy, or was gossiping, or basically he just didn't like what she was saying, or if a woman in the town was thought to be a little bit too opinionated or speaking out of turn, this particular device was used, and the woman was often traipsed through the village, as a form of humiliation and a lot of torture. And I have to say, this whole concept just stopped me in my tracks when I saw it. And it brought up a lot of stuff for me. Because the thing is, what I've learned over the last decade, probably my entire life, let's face it, it's been there. I think as women in business, if you are stepping into the arena of business, you're also stepping into working on the shadow of using your voice. Because no matter what angle or what corner you want to hide in, there is going to come a time where you need to use your voice. And so this was very impactful for me, because I could almost instantly see how this had played a part, if you believe in past lives at all or not, in part of my own makeup and my own lessons to bring me to this point. Every day we're working with amazing women who've got amazing messages and amazing impacts to have on the world. And one of the biggest things that's stopping them from truly stepping into the contract they've got on a soul level is the fact that they're struggling to use this. I've cleared so many throats and helped so many women with confidence issues over throats, and it's by no chance that I feel like today I'm sitting here with a very raspy throat. One of my friends says in French, they say that you swallowed a cat or something. I told her in English we say it's a frog. Don't know why the French say cats and we say frogs, but there you go. I've swallowed a cat, apparently. But the thing is, if you're listening to this and you're in business, first of all, it's no coincidence that you're even listening to me on this level. And we're talking today about this use of our voice. It's now been 3 weeks since I started recording this podcast. At this stage, we still haven't launched. By the time you're hearing this, obviously we've launched, and you're hearing this, it's up for public consumption, so to speak. And it takes me into a place of being someone very different. It takes me closer towards that woman that I know I am, and I work on so many levels with all my clients around identity, because really it's not about what you're doing, it's about who you're being. If you think about the type of business that you want to run, the impact that means, because most women that I work with are not only wanting to have massive leaps in income because they only want to be able to buy the house that they want. They also know that when their income goes up, it means that it's a measurement of how much impact they're also having on the marketplace or on the particular clients or customers that they work with. And part of that means that we've got to use our voice. So here I am, that woman who's running the Sassy CEO at the level that I know that I want it to be run at, is being seen on a whole new level. I've worked, for quite a few years on my beliefs and my own fears around using my voice, giving my opinion, stepping into that real light so that I could hold the light. And this is a whole new level. It's a whole new paradigm for me. And I had a choice today. I could decide that today I wouldn't record because I sound like this. Or I could listen to that little nudge, that gentle nudge that was tapping me on the shoulder, that was telling me that today was the perfect day to record. And today was actually the perfect day to share this message that I've had, flowing around inside me ever since that day when I first saw that terrible device, and the connected in with all those women and all those people, because I'm sure it wasn't just women, but it was primarily women, let's just face it. who had to wear that, and how that has impacted us down the lines. Because if you think, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago, when that was done to one woman, then that woman would tell her friend and then tell her daughter, be careful what you say. Be wary of how much attention you draw to yourself, or how loudly you speak, because something bad might actually happen. And as I began to heal this, I don't do all of this on my own. I don't ask any of my clients or any of you to do anything that I'm not prepared to do. So I am constantly working on my own inner blocks, my upper limit beliefs, my shadows on a deeper level. It's not just about mindset. Mindset's one aspect of self-development, but there's so many other parts of you that are also looking for attention. But on a soul level, I've been doing the work, and it was just fascinating to me what's unraveled very, very quickly. To give you an example, within weeks of finding this out and working with one of my teachers in particular around this, and clearing my own block around using my voice and letting go of maybe lifetimes where I've had to have this, torture or this humiliation happen to me for using my voice. And this one particular teacher is an amazing friend of mine, Kylie Ryan, who I will have on the show, and also a mentor for me. And I remember many, many years ago sitting in Bali and saying to Kylie, because I was so frustrated with my marketing, which is such a common thing for women to sit there going, I'm so frustrated, why does it feel so hard? And I remember saying that to Kyles and saying, Kyles, why does this feel so hard? And what came out of my mouth next just felt like I don't even know where it came from. And I remember saying to her, gosh, why is it so hard for me to really speak my truth about what I want to say out into the world? It feels like I've been burnt at the stake for what I had to say. And she very calmly and quickly responded to me, but my darling, you have, and quite brutally as well, and many times as well. And it was sort of like threw me off. And those words have really rung in my ears for many, many years now. And it wasn't until I found this information that I started to sort of put together our history, and how, if you think about that woman walking along the streets and then finally getting out of that situation, but really being punished for what she had to say, how she would then share that from a place of love, like be careful what you say, and if you think about how we've been raised as women, often being told, good girls are not heard, just stay over there, and make sure that you're always agreeable, and make sure that you say kind things, and sugar and spice and all that sort of stuff. And if you say anything remotely out there, or if you say something that perhaps might offend, that's going to cause a whole lot of ruckus. So it's interesting, fast forward to the last few weeks, where I finally, for myself, going, yeah, I'm ready, because this is not about me anymore. I've done so much work. I will continue to do the work, but this is about the vision that I have for the Sassy CEO in everything that we create, from this podcast to our Sassy CEO Society free membership group, to the actual events and the collective that we have. Everything is done very intentionally, and it's designed to create a space for women to truly thrive and to let go of old stories and old paradigms. And this is a big one, ladies. This is, and gentlemen, if you're listening, because this is not just only for women. I want men and women to listen to this, because it's important for all of us to understand this, but to also let it go. Don't stay in the past. There's no point us staying in the past. There's no point in us getting angry over this, because we are wasting our life force energy staying in the past. For me, it's about this present moment, this moment right here on this podcast, where we can shine the light on what happened, and shine the light, if I can serve myself up for an example right now, shine the light on the fact that 2 weeks ago, I started the schedule of recording these podcasts. Every Tuesday they get recorded, and this week was the first opportunity that I had, like I said, to not record it. And I choose not to. I choose to stand here, even though I sound so funny, and I choose to talk about this with you, and to help you to start to see, well, if you're listening to this, that perhaps there's some lessons in this for you. Where are there times? Because if you're in business, you sure as hell have made a pact somewhere along the line with your soul and with other people who you are meant to work with or impact, around using your voice. You've made a pact along the way with people that are triggering you. You've made a pact with people that are assholes to you, that are, really, you feel like they're kind of not on your page. You've made pacts already to work on using your voice, even when it feels really, really, really scary and uncomfortable. So how do we know that maybe we've got some issues around using our voice? Well, I know for a fact if you're in business, you're having many levels of this going on right now. But I've made a few notes of some areas that you might see this happening for yourself. So examples that will happen in this reality that give you maybe some clues that perhaps there's some work to do in your shadow around using your voice. Finding it really difficult to ask for the sale or to ask for the price that you want, or just follow up anything to do with finances. Find that those ones are really, really big. A lot of women find that very, very uncomfortable, and it triggers a whole lot of other stuff. I mean, there's a whole heap of other stuff that are sort of tying into that, but that's one angle of really feeling like you're sort of like blocked in here. Avoiding being seen on social media. So you find yourself hiding, you're hiding behind your computer, you're hiding behind busy tasks, even though that you know that you need to get out there and create the content or promote the business. In fact, any form of promotion of oneself will trigger this on so many levels. I mean, think about it. Back in the day, if you're being told, hey, don't you make too much noise, don't use your voice. Like, for us to actually promote ourselves, for many women, would feel really unsafe. A caveat that I will add to that story that I told you about Kylie is that, what she did tell me about that is that the fact is we have to remember that we are in this present moment and that we are actually safe. So I want to actually add that in here now. So even though I'm talking to you about this, I'm not doing this because I want to open wounds for you to stay stuck in the chaos of that, because that's just another bullshit story that you'd be running with yourself again, letting your life force energy go into the past. This is about coming into the present and actually shining the light, but being aware of it and going, hey, yeah, actually we do live in a day and age. Especially, for my Australian listeners, UK listeners, American listeners, like when we're living in the worlds that we're living today, we do have the opportunity to use our voice. We're not going to have someone go and clap this on our heads for using our voice. Yeah, okay, you're going to get some people who disagree with you. You're going to get the odd internet troll who wants to say something nasty, but it's called block and delete. It's really not going to hurt you. So any form of promotion will often trigger this. If you're avoiding it, if you're finding that you get stuck in busy tasks, that's usually a sign. So women that rely on referrals and only networking, I call this the referral ruse. You're sort of lying to yourself that you think that you're going to only get all your business out of referrals, and you know that deep down that that's not coming fast enough. There is really no control. Like if we think about, you should really have systems in your business where it's almost like a tap where you can turn taps on to be able to, receive, that's a big one, receive the leads and the inquiries that you want for your business. This whole like buying into the only referrals and networking, it's a ruse. It's a fallacy. It's an illusion. It doesn't mean that you can't have a very healthy business that has a healthy referral network. But I think if you're relying on that solely, I speak to so many women that are in the frustration zone of just feeling like they've got to go to network event after network event after network event and kind of like selling their soul is what they say to me. And it's like a version of you hiding from actually really stepping into all the tools that you've got on hand. Where's my iPad? It's around here something. But you've got so much technology right in your handbag right now that you could use as a platform to promote yourself every single second of the day. I'm not saying that you have to be promoting yourself every single second of the day, but you the access is there. It's just that for a lot of you are hiding from it, and you are creating chaos over here to avoid really looking at what needs to be really seen and cleared for you to step into that next level version of yourself, for you to actually create the business that you want in your mind and in your heart. Another way that this could also be manifesting is team members underperforming. You know, the amount of times I have women in business tell me that they feel like they're running an adult daycare center. Not cool. Okay, I mean, there's lots of layers of this. We could do a whole episode on this, and in fact, we will do a whole episode on this at some stage. Let me know. Hit me up on social media if you want me to do that episode. But you know, really understanding that people overstepping, this is a boundaries issue. You know, when people are, you're paying them and they're not stepping up to what you are wanting. Yes, I mean, there's lots of deeper conversations we can have and the responsibility that we have to take as a leader. But your inability as a leader to really speak your truth, to state, you know, this is what I want, and being able to then receive that is part of this inability to use your voice. Because as women, we want to be liked. We want everyone to like us. We don't want anyone to think that we might be a bitch. We don't want to be harsh. We don't want to speak our truth in case we, again, may offend someone or cause chaos, in case we create too much attention ourselves. You see how it all comes back to the same thing. So if you find yourself, you know, playing that one out, maybe that's something to look at. Externally to the business, so you can have team members, you know, treating you like crap, but you can also have clients treating you like crap, having no boundaries, you know, having clients ring you or text you or email you at all hours of the day, clients not paying you on time, clients not paying you what your business needs to be paid in order to be profitable. And I say that very intentionally because I want to do more work on this concept of your business being a separate entity to you. A lot of us, you know, talk about get paid what you're worth. And at Sassy CEO, I really want to enforce this movement of starting to see ourselves, you know, as a soul, as a human. You know, we're the leaders of this organization, and you know, being able to start to make much more neutral decisions about the pricing of your services, so that it actually is profitable for all stakeholders. And there's lots of processes that you can do to help you actually finally get clear on that vision. But if you're someone who's built your business, you know, often off your own talents, off your own back, you know, you are the business, so to speak. It's a matter of, again, changing your identity and moving beyond that. But again, moving back to what we're talking about today, is that the first thing you have to do is get clear on clearing this, so that you can actually speak your truth. You can welcome clients that are amazing because energetically you're in a good fit for them. And then on a logical and strategic level, you have all the processes and the systems in place that, you know, to educate them and let them know exactly how you work, so that it's a win-win for everyone. This is not about being an asshole to anyone. It's about getting really great outcomes for your customers, whilst also ensuring that your business remains efficient, profitable, so that you can continue to have an impact on the world. This is a win-win for everyone. This is not about taking away from anyone. It's about adding. It's a reframe, okay? So any boundaries of any kind, it might not even be in business. Perhaps you've got more showing up right now in relationships, you know, people who you're dating, or husbands, wives, family members. There's so many opportunities for us on a daily basis to be practicing this in a conscious way. And so this episode is really dedicated to you, and dedicated to this moment right now, where I bring you into this present moment for you to become clear on where it is that you have been allowing the fear that sits in this part of your body to stop you from speaking your truth, to stop you from moving forward and being the woman that you know you are, so that you can actually accelerate in business and in life. So I hope that this has created an opportunity for you to really start getting some questions. If you've got questions around how do I clear that now, you know, I think the biggest thing is, the first step is to become aware that you even have these, and see how those patterns are playing out for you in what areas of your business, and perhaps in your life, in your ability to be a leader within your business. And then, you know, starting to even ask and seek out the support that you need. You know, we actively talk about this in the Sassy CEO Collective. You know, it's not, we don't have to self-clear, we don't have to do everything ourselves. It's about actually getting the right team around you, asking, receiving for that to come to you, so that you can start to really create those foundations that you need in order to begin to build whatever it is that you're building. I'm sure it's magnificent, whatever that is. It's just you need to get out of your own way, lady. So this episode is very different. There I go, already breaking the mold. I've been given, my podcast manager very kindly gave me some structure, which I so appreciate, because hey, I you know me, I love some good structure. I think structure is so important, and especially when we're first starting out. And I will continue to use that structure. But the really cool thing about structure is that we can mold structure to kind of fit the way that we want it to fit. So I'm already breaking the mold. Sorry, Charlie. Sorry, not sure. Sorry, I'm sure you'll appreciate this when you listen back to this too. I want it to be authentic. For me, authenticity is way more important than structure and making sure I say this and making sure I remind you to join that or whatever it is. That's not what this is about. This is truly dedicated to you as a woman in business, as that woman who's stepping into the ring every day, getting the mud on her face, and still deciding that tomorrow she's going to step in the ring again and step in as a queen, because that's what it means to be sassy as fuck. So I dedicate this to all of you, as I dedicate all the rest of the episodes that are going to come. I would not be stopped today. I'm unstoppable. And I do that for you, for me, for all of us, for our futures. And so despite how funny I sound today, this is just a reminder that no matter what happens or how weak sometimes we feel here, there's great power here and up there, and we can connect it all to create something truly magnificent. Sending you lots of love today. Don't forget, join the Sassy CEO Society and come and join me day to day so that I can help impact you however I can impact you, because I'm here to really serve you and help you grow your business. Until next episode, I'll catch you soon. Bye.